President Museveni advises development partners to respect Uganda's values. Still to come, Minister of Education and Sports lauds learners' innovation. A very good evening and welcome to UBC News Tonight. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Thank you so much for watching today on the 19th of August 2023 at 8 p.m. In our top stories of the day, President Sharon Museveni presented a detailed 26-page report outlining significant drivers that have the potential to enhance economic transformation. He emphasized that the services sector and the knowledge economy are pivotal in expanding the economy's dimensions. He wants Western allies to honor Uganda's values and avoid actions that could disrupt collaborative efforts against terrorism, particularly in regions marked by instability.
The World Bank recently communicated the suspension of funding to the country's projects, citing concerns about human rights violations resulting from the enactment of the anti-homosexuality law. According to the World Bank, this law contradicts the organization's values and undermines efforts toward inclusion and non-discrimination. President Yoweri Museveni says that much of the borrowed funds were not contributing to Uganda's transformative journey, but directed towards organizing seminars rather than investing in mechanization equipment, procuring tractors for farmers, and establishing zonal diagnostic labs and research centers to enhance the agriculture sector. He states that the stringent conditions attached to the borrowed funds were hampering the country's progress, preventing the purchase of locally manufactured medical drugs, and impeding industrialization and job creation. The president viewed the World Bank's actions as provocative and arrogant, criticizing the bank for undermining Uganda's values and principles. He highlights key areas that could further bolster Uganda's economy, including fostering patriotism, maintaining a strong army, encouraging private investment, promoting science and innovation, advancing infrastructure development such as railways and water projects, and investing in education, healthcare, and human resources, and creating markets for value-added products. These sectors have elevated Uganda's economy from 6 trillion to 200 trillion Uganda shillings through public-private partnerships. He envisions that with consistent support, including the expansion of the services sector and the development of a knowledge economy, the economy could potentially reach $550 in the near future. President Museveni recommends lowering the costs of electricity, railway and water transport, and the cost of borrowing money from banks for private sector and commercial operators. This, he believes, will enable these entities to generate substantial profits and facilitate effective transformation. The country has achieved success in various sectors. For instance, fish factories have increased from 12 to 22. Maize production has risen from 500,000 tons to 5 million tons. Cotton factories are processing 20 million meters of fabric annually, and milk production has surged from 200 million liters in 1986 to 5.4 billion liters. There are also achievements in tea and coffee production, cement and steel factories, commercial explosives, military industries, gold refining, and pharmaceuticals. He cautioned that Western partners' provocation actions could interfere with global efforts against terrorism, where combined endeavors have targeted terror elements in Somalia, Eastern DRC, and Sudan. Museveni called for respect for Uganda's stance on homosexuality, which remains criminalized in the country. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Ivan Kawe, for telling us about what the 26 pages had from the President's report. A good learning environment has the ability to attract students to a school. This is the situation at Alua Seed Secondary School in Kabera Maido district, whose students enrolled doubled following the construction of the 4-classroom block by the Ministry of TESO Affairs.
Alua Seed Secondary School has been revamped after years of neglect. This gesture is as a result of the generosity extended to the district by the Ministry of TESO Affairs.
This is part of what we do. We supported them with startup funds, and I am proud. I'm sure you've never seen me as happy as this, because I feel vindicated that the money was well spent I have looked at the structures they have put up. They're really worth the money that we spent here.
The facelift of the school has revamped teaching, the teaching conditions and enrollment of students.
The former place the sub-county had given us was not very conducive for learning. But here now, as you can see, the structures are very beautiful and the students are very happy. Following that, the construction of this, our enrollment has increased from 159 to 318 now. And we expect more students to join this school next year.
Now the school leadership has been tasked to transform the new structures into better grades at the school.
Because I know there is a practice these days of people using schools like this one as a stepping stone as you look for other schools somewhere. So you register in Alua, you are being paid through Alua, but you are always out in the field looking for a better place.
The school that was constructed by the Minister of State Affairs at the cost of 300 million shillings comprises of the 4 classroom blocks and 2 drainage of 5 stanza pit latrines.
The prices are now trying to give. Some contractors are making sure they work because they wanted to save some money. But to me, as being a part of the NRM government and a staunch Christian, I don't want to make it.
Despite achieving the great milestone, the school is still grappling with some hiccups that needed to be addressed to improve on science learning.
We need a science laboratory to enable us effectively handle the teaching of science subjects, especially now with the coming of the new lower secondary school curriculum.
The Ministry of State Affairs under the leadership of Dr. Kenneth Ongalo Obote is committed to improve on learning environment in Teso sub-region if the resource envelope is scaled up. Joseph Oko, UBC.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has commended organizations and education stakeholders in the country for the efforts of implementing the new national curriculum aimed at innovations and job creations. This was contained in a speech read for her by the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, at the awarding ceremony of winners in the Stanbic Bank National Schools Championship held at Golf Course Hotel in Kampala District.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, is grateful to education stakeholders supporting government to implement the new national curriculum aimed at encouraging innovations and job creation in the country. This was contained in a speech read for her by the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, at the awarding ceremony of schools and teachers in the Stanbic Bank National Schools Championship held at Golf Course Hotel in Kampala. In this year's annual schools championship, over 15 schools competed in the final, and Kamboni College from Gulu won the grand competition and awarded the trophy. Dr. Muyingo said the National Schools Championship is very vital for showcasing the competency of people and development in culture and solve society problems.
This journey that Stanbic Bank started 8 years ago resonates well with the spirit of our new lower secondary school curriculum. The sight of our young people actively engaging their minds and looking for practical solutions to certain problems captures the essence of what the Ministry of Education and Sports aspires to achieve.
He encouraged teachers and schools always to consider equipping the young generation with innovations because they are very useful in empowering them for their future. The Chief Executive Officer Stanbic, Annie Juko, said in the last 8 years they have been organizing national schools championships, thus supporting learners to be innovative for a better future.
Schools championships is so important in solving the national problems that we have. Some of the problems that are perennial is the issue of unemployment. As part of this program, we train school-going children to learn entrepreneurship skills, to be innovative, to create solutions for the problems of the societies where they live. And you will see today that our winners have been exceptional. We have Komboni High School, which is doing a solar power concentrator so that we can solve the problem of deforestation and the charcoal issue.
She promised to continue partnering with the Ministry of Education and Sports in this National Schools Championship and also to encourage schools emphasize environmental protection. Salongo Fred Kasibante compiled this report.
The Lions Club of Kasangati, Greta, has engaged learners of St. John's Chitegombe Primary School, Wakiso, in an activity where the exercise was aimed at nurturing them into responsible citizens. The exercise included sanitary pads distribution to girls and a tree planting exercise. This was part of the visit to Kasangati Greta Lions Club activities by Lions Club International District 411B, Governor Dr. Stanley Bobichire.
Always consult an elder, lady next to you, a friend, a mom or a teacher.
Both the boy and the girl child need proper grooming to adulthood.
We have bought enough medicines for treating cancer within children for any child who has cancer in Uganda. And these medicines are in Mulago. Those of you who want to know, the project is worth $2 million.
The Lions Club's International Governor District 411B, Dr. Stanley Bobichire, was on a working visit to Chitegombe Church of Uganda Primary School, Kasangati Town Council, Wakiso District, at the invitation of the Lions Club of Kasangati, Greta.
So that when you grow old, like him, like them, you become lions and you start as a legal.
During a guidance and counseling session aimed at nurturing the learners into health and responsible citizens, Governor Bobichire, flanked by members of Kasangati Greta, advised the learners to appreciate education, care for their environment, and maintain healthy bodies through ensuring good hygiene.
It's at this stage that you should get ready. You are already now passing from one stage to another. We have told you some of you are experiencing some changes.
The governor and his entourage also visited Kasangati Town Council headquarters, where they interacted with area leadership on community support initiatives by the Lions Clubs of Uganda and world over.
We are targeting the vulnerable groups. And the vulnerable groups, as you may know, you are an administrative leader, includes who are hungry, women who are pregnant.
The Lions Club of Kasangati Greta, led by club's president Michael Mugisha, hosted the governor to a board meeting and granddad dinner at Kasangati Resort Hotel.
Currently, we have a total ready young girls and boys who are waiting to be chartered, and they are 200 in number. We plan to plant 200 trees and promote city-wide waste management.
The granddad dinner was characterized by the induction of new members into the Lions Club of Kasangati Greta. The club's leadership briefed the governor on some of the key activities that mainly included recruitment of new members into the club, a key requirement by the Lions Clubs International now at 1.4 million members, and 6 to raise the number to 1.5 members. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Governor Lions Club International District 411B, Dr. Stanley Bobichire, has visited hunger and tree planting service projects by the Lions Club of Kampala Central in selected communities of Kawempe Division. Residents of Chiganda Zone, Kawempe Division, and senior members of the Lions Club of Kampala Central received the Governor at Clinton Junior School, Kawempe, in Chiganda Zone. Dr. Stanley is the overall head of the Lions Club of Uganda and the Lions Club International. Take a look.
It was all smiles as residents of
Consult an elder, lady next to you, a friend, a mom or a teacher.
Both the boy and the girl child need proper grooming to adulthood.
We have bought enough medicines for treating cancer within children for any child who has cancer in Uganda. And these medicines are in Mulago. Those of you who want to know, the project is worth $2 million.
The Lions Club's International Governor District 411B, Dr. Stanley Bobichire, was on a working visit to Chitegombe Church of Uganda Primary School, Kasangati Town Council, Wakiso District, at the invitation of the Lions Club of Kasangati, Greta.
So that when you grow old, like him, like them, you become lions and you start as a legal.
During a guidance and counseling session aimed at nurturing the learners into health and responsible citizens, Chiganda Zone Kawempe Division received assorted food relief items and soap from the Governor Lions Clubs of Uganda, District 411B. Bobby Ikire, who also led a tree planting exercise in Chiganda Zone, commended leaders of the Lions Club of Kampala Central, led by Julius Tumuhimbise, for supporting communities with food and tree seedlings to address hunger and environment.
Contribute to good environment. They give us oxygen, but they also give us a shade. But I also want to add on that this is a mango. The children and the staff should be able to get fruits, which are very good for our bodies.
The food relief was an initiative of Dr. Hilary Kiza, a Makerere University donor and also a third president of Kampala Central Lions Club. The joy was palpable as the residents of Chiganda Zone received assorted food relief items and soap, a gesture that spoke volumes about the Lions' dedication to the well-being of the community they served. The governor was later hosted to a board meeting by the Lions Club of Kampala Central and granted dinner at Kampala Kolping Hotel. The governor also inducted new members into the Lions Club of Kampala Central and urged them to carry on the mantle of serving communities with passion through mobilizing resources. The board meeting and granted dinner attracted members of Kampala Central Lions Clubs, Makerere University, and a number of other guests.
60 lions have more, 70 lions, 80, 90, with 100, the pride is stronger.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and get a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
The land take for development of Tilenga, Kingfisher, and East Africa crude oil pipeline projects in Uganda is approximately 6,900 acres, with close to 10,000 project-affected persons. The compensation process involves an inclusive and participatory resettlement action plan study that provides for cash payment, physical resettlement, and livelihood improvement packages for the affected persons. 90% of all the project-affected persons have been fully compensated. 200 replacement houses have been constructed and handed over. Communities are also engaged in vocational skills, agriculture, financial literacy programs, employment, and contracting opportunities to improve their livelihoods and grow community content. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Hello darling.
Hi, Granny.
What did you do this weekend?
Well, on Friday, I went on a science trip with my classmates to Windy to see the gorillas.
Then we watched the cup final in London.
Oh.
On Saturday, my friends and I met up to hunt some dragons again. Also, I taught the vacuum cleaner and the TV this new dance everyone's doing. They're really getting into it. And on Sunday, I went to bed watching the world from space.
With Airtel 5G's lightning-fast speeds and seamless connectivity, you won't believe what's next.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates Pakaku ground. Sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. In our business stories, cocoa farmers in Bundibujo district have been encouraged to embrace the farmer family learning approach as a way of improving production and targeting better markets. This comes at a time when cocoa farmers with overgrown cocoa trees decry low production, which has affected their way of living. Details follow. We're so sorry about that. We'll have that story in the next bulletin. But still in the business stories, the Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited has been listed on the International Organization for Standardization upon fulfilling required quality management standards. Minister Ruth Nankabira has tasked the company management to aim at sustaining quality and attract quality investors.
That's the long-awaited achievement, the ISO certificate. Thank you. Thank you so much.
By listing Uganda Transmission Company Limited on the International Organization for Standardization puts its standing in high regard globally.
That means that UETCL, much as we are celebrating these standards that have been achieved, has to tune themselves to make sure that they match the generation strategy. And now that government is implementing the parish development model, we are expected to have a complete strategy of power supply from generation, transmission, distribution to the last mile consumer.
The company is to leverage on this international recognition to exploit enormous potentials in the power pool arrangement of electricity trade business.
We have already worked on a system where we shall be seeing power being traded or marketed in our neighbors. We have transmission lines that are going to be constructed into DRC, and we are at the feasibility stage. We are trading power with Rwanda, 40 megawatts. We are trading in power with Kenya, 60 megawatts. And we are planning to construct a transmission line from Oluyo, which will go through Ajumani into Nimule Juba.
The company has had a strategic plan for 5 years that started in 2018 to 2023. We are in the final year of that strategic plan, and within that plan, ISO certification was one of the strategic objectives. I'm very happy to report that we have achieved this milestone within the 5-year strategic plan.
The transmission body has to work towards sustaining quality management systems in compliance with ISO as a standard requirement and establish necessary infrastructure for electricity business.
the measure of how this is important to us is that when you get certified, there are certain ways you have to do things in terms of procedures, in terms of processes, and when you follow those procedures, which are best practices in terms of planning, execution, performance monitoring, all those things are identified within this certification, and if you follow it, then it enhances your efficiency, which will result into better service delivery, and of course it has to be translated in your bottom line.
The African Continental Free Trade Area and Power Pool Arrangement are the immediate opportunities to the Uganda Transmission Company Limited to exploit. Rogers Komagum and Abdul Nasir Lobwama compile this report.
Some individuals in Nakaukawa Kiso district have been caught with government-owned antiretroviral drugs. The National Drug Authority and the police conducted an operation that led to the arrests within government health facilities where the individuals were attempting to steal government-marked drugs. Kai has a detailed report on this story.
When you come out, come. Come here.
The police and the National Drug Authority officials have arrested Sebuliba Julius, who was nabbed while attempting to steal ARVs procured by the government to treat afflicted persons. The apprehended distributor provided information about the source of the medication, revealing Harriet Nabunya as the leader of the drug thieves. The National Drug Authority is focused on arresting both suppliers and distributors of these stolen medicines.
Drug Authority, as we are all aware, is mandated with the regulation of medicines in the country. But also, it's important to note that as part of our routine surveillance, both in the private and public sector, we ensure that the rightful medicines should be where they should be either consumed or accessed by patients. Part of our routine surveillance activities, we got information that there were some groups of people who are selling government drugs or government medicines called government stores. So we used our undercover officers, missing quantities of antiretroviral medicines which are used by people who are suffering from HIV/AIDS, and Septrin, which is an antibiotic used to manage opportunistic infections, plus a few other medicines were actually missing. Now, the quantity found in Walusimbi's home was tallying with the quantity that was not in the books at Nakauka Health Center 3.
They visited Nakauka Health Center 3 to apprehend Harriet Nabunya, but she wasn't found there. The hospital's in charge, Robert Bude, cooperated with the investigations team and provided contact details for his employees.
We did not find her there, and all efforts are underway to get her so that they help with the additional investigations and they appear before the courts of law. But we call upon the public to note that medicines meant for public use, that is for government use, should only be used and accessed by people within the public sector, that is the government hospitals or facilities. And we'll appreciate that we get any information of any people that are selling these medicines outside the public sector.
The police officers tried to reach out to Nabunya through her phone, but she remained elusive. The apprehended individuals were handed over to the police for further questioning.
Well, that's all we had for you tonight. Do join me again at 10 p.m. for more news coming your way. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way, including the Business Roundup with Mark Wadulo.